Hello everyone, I'm Patrol Officer Middleton. I'm with the United States Protective Services. We're going to be patrolling our sites, checking on the guys, seeing how everything's going. Right now we see some transients sitting here that potentially not supposed to be here. That's on no trespass. We're going to go check them out. Sometimes once they see the car and the lights come on, they disappear and scatter. While I walk through, I like to slowly walk through, make sure I don't hear anything, no screaming or anything that sounds out of place for about 9 o'clock at night right now. Every so often, I'll go inside and meet with the clerk or whoever's in there just to confirm everything. She's feeling good, and if she's seen anything. All right, so for confidential reasons, I didn't want to put anybody else's face on the camera. We were just told that we have a couple of people with firearms on them. One of our officers, our static officers that was here, they saw them with the firearms. By the time he tried to respond, they hauled-tailed in the wood line back here. So we're gonna take a trip, we're gonna walk with me, we're gonna see if we can find. Hey, how you doing? You guys got a room today? You got a room here? We're gonna go see a cousin? Which room they in? Oh yeah, I've seen you before.
Yeah. Okay.
You here usually? Pretty often?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen you a lot, and I haven't seen you before. Oh yeah. You guys remember what time curfew's over for guests?
Right.
Yes, ma'am. It's 9. It's at 9 o'clock.
Oh, is it now? That was midnight.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock now. Just because we already had word that it was a couple. Not saying it's you guys, but it was a couple that was here robbing people, and they had a gun today, and they went right through that little hole in the fence over there. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and it only takes one person to kind of ruin it for the most. For the most part, we try to be a little lax. And yeah, yes, it's already been 3 in the last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So they're trying to take advantage of people that's, yeah. So that's the only reason I asked. But it's at 9. I apologize for it. But anytime other than that, you guys good. Thank you guys. As I walk through, I'm still looking on the ground and things like that to make sure I don't see any drug paraphernalia, any sharp objects, any type of weapons as well. So sometimes, as you guys walk with me throughout this property, you get different types of people. Sometimes it's going to be off-putting. Someone's going to just don't want to be away from you for the most part. But sometimes you get the couple earlier that want to be, cohesive and talk with you and things like that, and understanding of what the rules are. We try to implement a lot of our rules, and they already know that for the most part once booking into the room. We got guys like that is also not out of town. My thing is not to go hard on them, just because, again, they could be just like in that situation. They're not from here. They're just trying to find their rooms. I can tell how it can be a little bit hard to see in some places. And that's how it usually goes most of the time. All right, right now we're gonna go on a patrol to one of our apartment complexes pertaining to patrol, just checking on it, doing the same thing that we did here. Dispatch, please show me 1077 en route to 3000 Cypress Lake Drive, North Charleston, South Carolina, 29445.
Airport.
All right, so like we just seen, and we just came from the last site here, I want to walk around and make sure everything's going copacetic in a way, and everybody's safe and everybody's doing their job. Again, you're going to find people that's going to be off-putting. It's getting a little later at night. Check that.
49 up 1 Alpha 2, please.
Airport.
Sometimes I got to stop and listen to the transmissions and make sure everybody's doing well. With me being a patrol officer as well, I usually respond to any of our officers need any help or any assistance with anything that could come to be.
46 Bravo 68, go ahead with your traffic. Correction, 46 Bravo 15.
So we're pulling in to one of our sites now. Again, I like to do a little slow, smooth, maybe around 5 to 3 miles per hour roughly, just to look around and make sure there's no transients just sitting around, looking like they're not here. With it being an apartment complex, you know, no one's want to really loiter and just sit out there in non-public and accessory parks and stuff like that places. I also like to look and see if there's any glass on the ground and things like that. There's been a rash of, you know, car break-ins and grand thefts. Sometimes people accidentally leave the doors open and things like that. I want to confirm with everyone and just drive through and make sure everything is being copacetic. So here, just like the last spot, I'll just check the pool, make sure there's no one sleeping, loitering, or in the pool. Sometimes people like to crush these and mess up the signals on them. Sometimes I just gently yank on it and make sure it's locked. Even though I'm looking at mainly at the pool and little darker sections, sometimes we have a problem with homelessness. So I like to look into the bushes and the darker areas that people won't expect us to look at.
46 Golf 10 on.
In some areas where it's darker, like this area, we don't have much light. I like to shine the light, look at the fences to make sure there's no obstruction to it. And it's like someone trying to crawl in or anything like that. Again, since it's an apartment complex and it's a little later in the evening, you know, on a weekday, I don't want to shine any lights in anybody's personal places and things like that. But more public areas, I'll continue to look through and make sure they're good. All right, I see here that this door isn't locked like it's supposed to, so I'm going to document it, get in touch with the property manager tomorrow and early in the morning, just to make sure they are acknowledged that it's happened. I also want to look and make sure that I don't see anything like the lock wasn't busted or anything like that. It could have just been a normal mishap with multiple employees, such as this how large this establishment is. Accidents happen. All right, so this concludes my patrol in this area for this one site here. Next, we're going to go to a store area so you get the feel of different places that we have and how we patrol each area. Central, this is 49 Alpha 2.
Go ahead.
Please show me back on patrol, please. All right, now we're pulling up to one of our storefront properties where we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the last couple of ones. I was just gonna make sure it's about 10 o'clock right now, 10:30. Everybody should be closed out, locked. We're just gonna drive through, patrol, make sure they've done it. Sometimes accidents happen, they forget to lock doors, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just gonna go through and confirm that, make sure there's no one loitering or there's anything broken or anything like that. So here, all I'm doing is making sure doors are locked, looking inside, there's no one inside loitering, looking around, making sure there's no paraphernalia, no bolts or anything that's missing. Again, with this being we have a billiards place, a pool place over here where it's open until 3 a.m. We get some drunk patrons that wants to come over and pull on the door, tug on the door, sometimes just fall out and loiter here. I like to do rounds ever so often to confirm the doors are locked, just for that purpose there. Sometimes we advise majority of our guys, especially on a strip like this, to have covering over the window, just as a deterrent to where they can't really see anything. There's some that's wide open. We don't want to, invite anything bad. I like to also go to the side and make sure there's nobody laying down and just confirm there. All right, guys, this concludes our patrol services. I'm Patrol Officer Middleton with the United States Protection Services. Stay tuned for a lot more things we're going to be doing. Right now, you just only be able to see our hotel, apartment complex, and now the storefront that we're doing here. We have a lot coming more with training and a whole sorts of different things that we have. Next time, I hope you see you again.